Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to the violin build. Today I'm going to show you how to make a transparent red color for varnish. Someone in the comments asked me about this after I posted a short video of a varnish sample with the reddish color. So I'm going to show you how I make it. So I'm going to be making a Madder Lake pigment, and if you don't know what madder is, it's a plant that has, the roots have a red dye, and the dye molecules are alizarin and purpurin, maybe some others. This is madder root powder, which I got off of Amazon. And so if you want to make some transparent red pigment for varnish, this is what you're going to need. You'll need madder root powder. You can buy whole roots and grind it up yourself, but it's easier to use the powder. Also, you'll need alum, and you'll need sodium bicarbonate. Arm & Hammer baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. Actually, you need sodium carbonate. You convert sodium bicarbonate into sodium carbonate by heating it. So put some baking soda in on a baking pan and put it in the oven at about 300 degrees for about an hour, and that will convert the bicarbonate to carbonate, which is a stronger base. So also, I'll swing over here. You're going to need an espresso machine. This is an old one. It's about 30 plus years old. I lost the original pot that came with it, so I just have a small coffee pot. And basically what we're going to do is run the madder root powder through the espresso machine, just like making coffee, but we'll be making a red dye. Also, what you're going to need is a small accurate scale that can measure in grams. So I'm going to weigh out, I think 40 grams of the alum. I'm thinking maybe 30 grams. 40 is a lot, but maybe I'll go 40. All right. Okay, that's 40 grams. Dissolve the alum in hot water. Hot tap water is good enough. It'll dissolve better in hot water than cold water. I need a bigger container, so I'll just, hold on, there we go. That container was too small, so this is all 40 grams of alum in hot water. And while that's dissolving, I'll measure out the sodium carbonate. Okay, so for 40 grams of alum, we'll use 20 grams of sodium carbonate. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. And that will, in the end, make a neutral solution. Or it should make a neutral solution. And I'll add a little extra in case 20 is not enough. So there's 24 grams. And the sodium bicarbonate will dissolve that in hot water also. I'll just use a glass to do that. The amount of water that you use is not important. You just need it to dissolve the sodium carbonate and the alum. And while that's dissolving, and I'll stir it some more off camera, but while that's being dissolved in the water, I'll go ahead and show you the process with the espresso machine. All right, so now I'll fill up the espresso cup with, boy, that stuff is a very fine powder and it goes everywhere. So I don't measure out a specific weight or volume, I just fill up the espresso cup. Yeah, that's probably enough. Many years ago, the original pot that goes with this machine was broken, and this is just an ordinary coffee pot. I'm going to fill it up to about the 3-cup mark. And because this is not the original pot, it doesn't have the attachment that allows the espresso to go down in it. And so it has a tendency to splatter. So that's why I have a towel on the countertop, and I'm going to wrap some aluminum foil around it. That's going to take a few minutes, so I'll come back to it when it's done. Okay, that should be ready. And as you can see, we now have a nice pot of red dye. So the next step is to turn that into a pigment that can be mixed with oil varnish. So one other thing you're going to need is a large container. This is, I think, about a half-gallon mason jar. Is that a half gallon? Looks like about a half gallon. Anyway. So we'll pour the dye into the container. You need a large container because it's going to foam up at some point, and it's going to make a lot of foam. So I'll add the alum solution, which is dissolved. And this is the sodium carbonate solution, which is also dissolved. This will be added slowly because the alum is acidic and this is a base. So they will react to produce a foam. So I add a little bit and stir. And you can see the foam forming. I probably added too much all at once, but that's okay. So I'm just going to let that sit there until the foam subsides before I add more. The foam has subsided some, so I'll add a little bit more, and so you want to add just a little at a time. If I had a larger container, then it would probably work better. A gallon size container would probably work a lot better. The more you stir it, the more it foams. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a while. While the foam is subsiding, I'll show you what was in the espresso filter. You can see how brown that is. That shows you how much of the dye gets extracted through the espresso maker. I've tried making it on with a regular coffee pot and a Keurig pot, and it does not extract nearly as much color as the espresso maker. But originally it was quite red, and now it's all the red has been sucked out of it and left this brown mass, which is not useful for anything. So I'm going to go throw it away. Sometimes stirring vigorously will help push the foam down and make it subside. Once the solution reaches pH neutral, it will stop making foam, and I'll use pH test strips to test it to make sure it's a neutral solution. But it will probably take most of that sodium carbonate to fully neutralize the alum solution. I've transferred the sodium carbonate into this container because it's easier to pour. I know it hasn't reached neutral yet, but I'll go ahead and test it with a pH tester just to show you that it is still acidic. Yeah, it's probably about a 5, maybe a 4 on the acid side. It's making less foam now when I add the sodium carbonate, so it's probably getting close to neutral. That's close to neutral. That's just about a 7. May try adding just a little bit more. Yeah, that's not producing foam, and it's at least a 7 on the pH scale. Test it one more time. Yeah, that's I'd say that's about right. So what we do now is wait for that to settle. The reaction of the alum and the sodium carbonate will produce a solid precipitate, and I will have to wait for that to settle. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and top that off with some plain water. Now I'll let that sit overnight, and the precipitate will settle to the bottom of the jar, leaving clear water on top. And that's going to take overnight, and I'll probably wash it 2 or 3 times, and each time it will have to settle overnight. So that's going to take a few days. For me, that's going to take a few days. For you in the video, it's going to be right away. So I'll be right back. It's the next day, and hang on, zoom out a little bit. Okay, it's the next day, and you can see the precipitate has formed at the bottom. It's settled out, and we have clear water at the top. So I'm going to carefully pour off the water, and then I'll add more and wash it once or twice more. The reason for washing it is to remove any residual chemicals, any alum or sodium carbonate that may still be unreacted. And so I'll just top it off with water and let it sit again overnight. Okay, this is day number 2, and it has settled out again, and I'm going to pour off this water and add water to it one more time and rinse it one more time. This video is already about 20 minutes long, so I think I'm going to stop it here and call this part 1. And in part 2, the next video, I will show filtering out the lake pigment and drying it, and then I'll mix it with some varnish and apply it to a scrap of wood to see what it looks like. So this will wrap it up for this video, and stay tuned for the next one.